Have you ever found yourself in a conversation where everything seems logical and even persuasive? At first glance, it feels like you are engaging with a true expert in their field, someone who presents their arguments with clarity and conviction. However, somewhere deep inside, a lingering discomfort arises. It feels as though you've been convinced, but not quite in an honest way, rather through subtle manipulation. This unsettling realization propelled me to dig deeper into the intricacies of communication, leading me to discover a term that transformed my understanding: black rhetoric. Black rhetoric is not merely a collection of manipulative techniques employed by insincere speakers. It encompasses a comprehensive framework of strategies that enables individuals to control conversations, sway opinions, and even shape decisions without their targets even realizing it. The insidious nature of these tactics often operates beneath the surface, affecting our thoughts and reactions more than we consciously acknowledge. Research into black rhetoric reveals that it functions not through overt force, but rather through a delicate interplay with the weak points of logic, emotion, and behavior. Recognizing these methods is essential, as it empowers individuals to navigate conversations with greater awareness. I'd like to share several key tactics I've encountered in my observations. Tools that everyone should be aware of to safeguard themselves against manipulative influences in communication. The first tactic is the substitution of concepts. This technique involves taking a familiar word and infusing it with entirely different meanings. For example, consider the phrase, "Freedom is adhering to rules." At first glance, it appears beautiful and affirming, suggesting that true freedom comes with accountability. However, if you examine it closely, the phrase equates freedom with compliance, subtly redefining a cherished concept. Suddenly, we find ourselves accepting a version of freedom that is synonymous with restriction. This phenomenon can be likened to someone claiming openness is secrecy. Such a blatant distortion of meaning can lay the groundwork for manipulative narratives, especially if they go unchallenged in discussions. In practice, this tactic can manifest in many forms. For instance, politicians often redefine social terms to suit their agendas, arguing that security entails increased surveillance, which can infringe upon personal freedoms. By manipulating the language, they can justify actions that would typically be met with resistance, misleading the public into accepting ideas they would otherwise reject. The second tactic is diverting attention. This technique is frequently encountered in debates and contentious discussions. When posed with a direct question, instead of providing a clear response, an individual might redirect the conversation with assertions like, "But why haven't you done anything yourself?" Or, "That's not the main issue right now." Such redirections effectively draw your focus away from the original question, placing you on the defensive as you scramble to justify your position. This tactic often serves as a distraction maneuver, provoking feelings of guilt or uncertainty that hinder constructive dialogue. For instance, during a discussion about climate change accountability, a person may deflect by questioning your own lifestyle choices rather than addressing the substantive issues at hand, causing you to forget about the initial inquiry. This form of evasion sidesteps responsibility and leaves unanswered questions lingering in the air. The third tactic is appealing to authority. Statements like, "All experts say," or all sensible people understand that. Create pressure on the listener. This rhetorical ploy leads to a situation where one feels compelled to either agree with the so-called consensus or acknowledge their own ignorance. Regrettably, this is often just as much of a manipulative game as the previous examples. Few bother to verify who these experts truly are, or whether their opinions hold any genuine authority. Take, for instance, public health conversations where figures in the know frequently recite the recommendations of unnamed health officials. The reliance on this tactic can undermine nuanced discussions, leaving individuals feeling pressured to comply with complex guidelines that may not align with their personal beliefs or experiences. The fourth tactic is linguistic obfuscation. Employing an abundance of sophisticated language, lengthy sentences, and technical jargon can effectively muddle clarity. Instead of straightforward communication, an individual may craft a narrative filled with complexity, leaving listeners bewildered and uncertain about the actual topic of discussion. This linguistic sleight of hand serves as an ingenious approach to conceal a lack of substance behind an illusion of intelligence. When confronted with a barrage of convoluted terminology, individuals may find it challenging to articulate their concerns or objections, often nodding along in confusion rather than engaging critically with the content. Imagine participating in a meeting about corporate policy, where the language used is so filled with buzzwords and vague terms that the actual implications of the policy remain obscured. As a result, one may leave the meeting unsure of what was decided or how it affects them. The fifth tactic is playing on emotions. In this strategy, manipulators directly target feelings of fear, shame, or guilt. Phrases like, "You wouldn't want to appear whack, would you?" Or, "Don't you care about the future of your children?" aim to provoke a reaction that overrides rational thought. Such emotional appeals often lead individuals to make snap decisions based on fear rather than carefully considered arguments. Consider how political campaigns frequently exploit fear tactics to rally support. By invoking images of potential threats, they compel voters to react emotionally rather than rationally, steering public opinion through manufactured anxieties and creating an atmosphere where critical thinking gets overshadowed by immediate emotional responses. So, what's the main idea? When you are equipped with the knowledge of these tactics, your susceptibility to manipulation diminishes significantly. You become less easily unsettled or coerced into agreement regarding questionable propositions. Gaining this awareness allows you to maintain clarity of thought and hold a firm stance, genuinely reflecting your values and beliefs. Moreover, it's imperative to remember that these tools can be wielded not just for manipulation, but also for self-defense in conversations. By mastering these techniques, you weather discussions more effectively and stand firm in your convictions. This approach enables you to engage in dialogues that are more constructive and rooted in authentic communication. In summary, the world of communication is not always a fair game. Recognizing the dark techniques at play grants you a choice in how you engage. What will your choice be? Will you silently succumb to manipulative tactics, relinquishing responsibility, or will you assertively uphold your position, knowing that every word matters? Often it suffices to remember one crucial rule. Listen not only to what is being said, but also to why it is being said. So, if you find that your conversation partner is employing tactics of black rhetoric, Do not hesitate. Challenge them by asking probing questions, analyzing their assertions, and verifying facts. The more you understand these techniques, the more challenging it becomes for others to manipulate you. Equip yourself with this knowledge and navigate the complexities of communication with confidence. This empowerment can dramatically alter your interactions with others. In closing, let's reflect on the importance of integrity in communication. In our interconnected society, the words we choose carry immense power. Understanding Black rhetoric and its implications enables us not only to protect ourselves from being manipulated, but also to communicate more authentically with others. Emphasizing clarity, honesty, and respect in our dialogues contributes to a healthier discourse, fostering connections built on trust rather than manipulation. In every conversation, strive not just to express yourself effectively, but to uplift those around you through honest and meaningful dialogue. Together, we can create a culture that values truth and authenticity over tactics of deception.